Hello. Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about how I got my first MIP, which for you guys who don't know what an MIP is, it stands for minor in possession. Normally they're for kids who are under 21 that are found with alcohol, but mine was for nicotine. And the way I got caught was pretty bullshit, and so let's kind of just hop right into it from here. So it all started, I think, like 2-3 weeks ago, and I ended up waking up, getting ready, taking a shower, eating, getting on the bus, and me and my friend ride the same bus. And so when we got off, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I got something to show you." I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "Just follow me." So we ended up walking behind the Kings, which is pretty close to my school. And just so you guys remember or know, before school starts, we have like half an hour before first period starts. So I followed this kid behind the King Super, which is pretty close to our school, and he's like, "Hey, look at this." He whips out this pre-roll from the night before, and I was like, "Yeah, like, are we gonna smoke?" And he's like, "Do you want to?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I've got to go to class, and my first period is algebra, and you already know I hate fucking math, and I'm not even really good at it, so that's probably why I don't like it." But so we ended up smoking this joint, which it was a kiwi strawberry wrap, or the joint was flavored. It was pretty weird. I didn't really like it, but you know. It gave my fingers like a weird waxy coat, almost like a candle. But so after I smoked this, I didn't really feel anything, but I think 10 to 15 minutes after we ended up smoking this, on our way back to school, it just hit me. I was like, "Holy fuck!" And it felt like I was almost in a dream. And this isn't my first time smoking, but it felt like I was in a dream. It didn't feel real, but it kind of felt like I was outside of my body, looking down at myself in a way. But it felt like I was also in a bubble, but it was really weird. I didn't really have any psychedelics on it, but it just made me really feel weird. So we ended up going the first period, and with my luck, we had a fucking partner assignment, and the girl next to me is a foreign exchange student, and I just could not think straight. We had these super basic problems we had to do with our partner, and I was just looking at it what the fuck is this? I had no clue what work we were supposed to be doing or how to do it, and normally I can get it done, but today I was just fucking out of it. I had no clue what these numbers were meaning or anything. I ended up seeing fucking letters. I was like, "What the hell are these for?" And my teacher, I have two teachers in my first period, and one of my teachers kind of probably knew I was stoned, because on our way back I was like, "I could put these eye drops in later," because it was kind of cold. I was like, "And I'll put them in when I was inside," but I ended up forgetting, and I had no cologne, so I smelled it loud as fuck, and my eyes were red and squinting. But I ended up middle of class. The teacher looked at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just not really feeling very well." And I looked really white, because a couple minutes before this, I ended up puking in my mouth and just swallowing it. And so I was probably super pale, got red eyes, and smelled loud as fuck. And my teacher was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" I was like, "No, I kind of need to go to the nurse." And since there's two teachers, one of the teachers ended up walking me down to the nurse's office and telling the nurse I think he's under the influence. So the nurse kind of sat there questioning me, and she's like, "Just go back and lay down." And I ended up laying down, and I don't even know how long it was. I think I only laid down for 15 to 20 minutes, but to me it felt like hours. And I woke up halfway through, and there was no clock, and the room was dark, and I shut the door. I woke up, and I was where? I had no clue where I was. And just so you guys know, my phone and my backpack was still in the classroom, and I was out of it. I had no clue where I was, what I did, but I ended up falling back asleep and waking up probably 5-10 minutes later. For all I know, it could have been half an hour later, but I ended up waking up, and I slept off the high, which I was super happy I did, because at school I really didn't like it, but because I just could not think, and I was super scared. Everyone knew I was high, but So when I was in the nurse's office, they ended up running some simple tests, like having me stand up and walk in a line, or put my arms out with my eyes closed and just touch my nose with my fingers, just seeing if I was like under the influence of anything. But I slept it off, so I was sober by this point. And so they ended up calling the security guard down and having them go up and get my backpack. And I had my jewel and a lighter in my pocket, and I knew that they were gonna search me, so I just I hid it in my crotch. I was like, because they don't search you, all they kind of pat you down, but they don't really do much more than that. They go through your backpack. But I threw my jewel and my lighter in my crotch. I was like, that's all I thought I had. And when they ended up getting my backpack and my phone, you ended up walking down to the dean's, which wasn't really far. It was actually a building away, so it was like a 10-minute walk. And this entire time I was like, alright, I'm fine. They're just gonna search me down. I'm gonna be fine. They're just gonna send me to class. I was like, okay. This day was very interesting. But so I got down to the dean's office, and there was someone already in there, so I had to wait like 10 minutes for him to finish up. So I ended up waiting, just sitting there on my phone. And then my dean comes out and he's like, Jordan, I can see you. Alright, Jordan, can you come in here and talk to me real quick? I was like, sure. I just walked in there, and he's like, they reported a code blue, which a code blue at my school means that they think you're under the influence of a drug or anything. And so they're like, we have to search you. And I was like, okay. So they're like, they went to a male security guard came down and opened my backpack, and he's like, is there anything in here you don't want me to find? I was like, no, not that I know of. And so he goes through my entire backpack, and I forgot that in the front pocket of my backpack, I had my phone box, and I had this vape juice, and the vape juice had 0 nicotine. It tasted like literal toothpaste, and I got it, I think, like a day before, and I had it in there, and I was like, oh my, they pulled it out, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's 0 nicotine vape juice, and they're like, oh, okay, so they put it to the side. And they're like, can we pat you down? I was like, sure, I have nothing to hide. And they just had me put my arms out. They made me take my shoes off, and they just patted me down, making sure I didn't have anything, which I didn't. And then when they were done putting everything in my backpack, I was like, can I go? Can I go back to class? And they're like, no, you can't. Like, wait here for a little bit longer. I was like, why? And they're like, oh, the school cop is coming down. I was like, why? He's like, you're getting a ticket because you have nicotine. And I was like, this juice literally has no nicotine. And I picked up the bottle to show him, and I forgot I ripped the label off. Because I was planning on selling it to a kid, and I just took the label off because I knew it had no nicotine, but I told him it did. And I was like, I ended up holding it up, and I was like, look, and I was like, there's no label. I was like, fuck. So the school cop ended up coming down. I had to wait for 15 minutes because he must have been doing something, or he was just walking, because he was a pretty large person. He's pretty fat. Looked like Paul Blart almost. That's kind of what I remember of this day, is Paul Blart walking down to my dean's office so I can get a ticket. And so I ended up getting 2 tickets. One was for a minor in possession of nicotine, and the other was for having nicotine in a no nicotine area, which really does suck because I got to go back to court on April 3rd and find out what I'm going to get. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be community service. That's what I hope. This isn't my first time having something like this come up at school, so I hope I don't get probation, but I probably won't, but always a possibility. So this is, again, my first video. Tell me how it came out. I don't know. See ya.